My name is Tom Flint, and I am a filmmaker and also a moving image educator. And I graduated from the school in the old building back in 1999, so it's nice to be back here. Most of my time is split between both filmmaking work and also film education. I think where my passion is strongest is in the work that I'm doing right now with this program that I run called Film Building. And this was something that evolved out of my own personal experiences living overseas. I was in Japan for about 15 years, and I got really, really interested in cross-cultural exchange and a lot of the outcomes that are associated with that for learning, and kind of tied that into my background as a filmmaker and as a visual storyteller. And I began to really think about organizing experiences or workshops that would get people from different lived experiences who would otherwise never meet to come together through the filmmaking process, which is such a rich experience because it combines so many different art forms. So that's when I decided to launch into Film Building, which is this initiative, an educational program that runs these discovery-based workshops where we get youth from different backgrounds together to co-create movies.
My name is Macy Smith. I'm a junior here at LS. I'm part of the film building program and I'm a group liaison. I sort of viewed belonging as just something like a place where you felt comfortable. I moved here in 2019 and I was not in the best headspace. I didn't really make an effort to try and belong. Like, I had my little group of friends and I was okay with that. And I think coming to LS was an experience that really rocketed my thoughts on belonging, because I've met so many amazing people here. And in like my middle school era, there was I was a lot more like alone, and I felt belonging but only with a few people. And I think coming to LS and finding so many different specific groups where I was like, oh, we all love rugby, oh, we all love to write, like commonalities, I think I just found a lot more people that I felt belonging with. So coming into the documentary, I just was thinking about those places where I felt comfortable being myself and just talking to people about anything.
Going into high school, I didn't have like a friend group going into it, and I started off by trying out for cheer with my friend that I had, and that really was one of my first experiences of belonging. It was amazing to just have people that you can laugh with and feel like you have a place where you can feel comfortable.
For me, I understood like belonging being like, oh, there's probably people that probably go to Lincoln, Sudbury, or somebody that doesn't go, that isn't from Boston. For example, I have some friends that live here and I don't, and I feel like belonging could also, what I thought was like, I don't know, like coming together, as one, and just being one big family and connecting all together as, just one big family.
I didn't really like have a big idea of what belonging was. I just thought it was just like being in a group of people and feeling like that you're a part of that group of people. But I think that this project has shown that, like, in that group of people, you don't need to be as similar as, like, you do the same things, you have the same jobs, you have the same sports. Like, you could be, like, very different than each other, and you could still feel like you belong and that you have a strong friendship in that group.
How's everyone doing today?
Good, how are you doing?
Doing fine, great. Very excited to be here. This is something that we've been talking about and planning for a couple months now with Ms. Hoden and Mr. Grace, who I think you all know. And today is the day that we actually get to finally kick it off. So we're really excited to have you all here as film builders. Orientation, which was March the 12th. And that was really exciting for me because I got to meet you for the first time in person, got to meet all the other the film builders. And yeah, it was just kind of kicking things off. This is basically a 2-month-long project. And what we did was we started off by going over what the project is all about. We talked a little bit about some of the goals, the connection to the METCO program, the different kind of stakeholders. And the idea was to get the participants excited about what they were engaging in, and also letting them know that anybody can be a filmmaker. Anybody can be a filmmaker. We have, of course, the technology that allows us to do that, but it's also about finding stories within you and building stories through connections and conversations with other people.
Yeah, well, originally when Ms. Hoden asked me if I wanted to be part of it, I thought I was going to do like 2 interviews or something like that. I didn't realize that we were actually, like, students were making the film. I only realized that at the orientation meeting. So that was a surprise, but I was really excited because I haven't worked with film before, but I really enjoy, like, all the other forms of art, like artistic mediums.
And then, like, the week before, I found out that I was going to be one of the film builders, and it made me very nervous because film building is not something I have had experience with. I've never really done anything like this before. So going into the orientation, I think I was more nervous about the content stuff.
They was telling me, like, oh, there's this, we're doing this documentary. It's going to be about belonging. And, I was like, and they really wanted me to be in it. And I was like, of course, it's something different. I've never done something like this before. And, it's the experience. I just want to experience something different.
I was like, whoa, this is different. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel kind of lost. Like, this is such a big workload. I think me and also all my group members, like, we're really busy. So finding time to meet up and time to just dedicate to this project was definitely a challenge.
We were stuck on that for a while. Like, what are we supposed to do? We need more direction. Like, we really wanted it to be like them, like, guiding us or, like, giving us exactly what to do, which is why I like math over, like, history or English, because it's like there's one answer, one right way to do something, not, like, multiple. But I think that's what's really good about this project is that there's more than one way to do something because everyone is different. Everyone's going to have their own idea.
A lot of people don't really understand that. They feel that you have to go through, years of training or whatever it may be in order to get to a level where you can finally start to make a movie. But that's absolutely not true. So I really wanted to instill that in all the participants, that understanding that, film is out there for the taking, and this wasn't necessarily the case just 5 or 10 years ago because of the lack of access to technology. But now we have it all, and we have ways to connect with one another, and we need to make these connections right now. So I wanted everyone to feel like you guys are building this yourselves. I'm not here to teach you how to do it. We're all kind of taking a step back as the facilitators, as the adults. We're here to just kind of cheer you on and root for you, but you all are the ones that are driving your projects.
Time! Okay, now it's one more time to the left.
One of the activities we did during the orientation was we each broke out into small groups and we tried to film a scene about a misunderstanding. And I feel like that was kind of my first experience in filmmaking, besides like random projects that I might have done in like elementary school or something. But I feel like that really made me kind of see how people who make films think and how to like tell a story with just one clip. That was like pretty interesting.
I felt great. I like how it came out. Y'all want to see it? Sit there.
All right, guys. Woo! How was it?
Always in my way, like I just don't get it. Just walk straight.
In like 10 minutes.
We're good. What pushed me outside my comfort zone was having to film in school and film at practice. It was kind of like awkward because like it's like there's new people on my team, but there's also old people on my team. But it's like I feel like I'm comfortable in my team, but it's just like bringing a camera into like certain locations is kind of like, oof. Like everybody go want to be included. Everybody go be like, oh, what's that? What's this for? And there's a lot of questions, kind of like too much attention being brought to me. I don't like really like a lot of attention. So it's just like. So it was a lot. So, and also filming in school during like school hours, like it was also challenging because just like there's a lot of stares, a lot of questions again. So just like it was a little challenging to try to overcome like my comfort with the camera and people coming around. Yeah.
Right!
I feel like sometimes when we first started, I definitely felt like, oh, I'm gonna have to go out or like do certain things. Like, for example, filming myself in front of like a bunch of people was just like, to me, thinking it's like nerve-wracking, you know? But I feel like once you start, like, you try doing it, it's not as bad as you think it's gonna be, you know? And I feel like a challenge was definitely like being out there, for example, trying to film during school. It was like definitely something, you know, different for me. I was definitely nervous, definitely, you know, like, oh, I don't know, I don't want people to see me like doing this, and then, you know, like certain things. But I feel like after a while I started like easing out of it and stuff like that, and it definitely got easier.
Yeah, what I learned is you gotta like get out of your comfort zone while doing the little recording your footage. You feel me? Like in public especially, because people have their eyes on you, they staring at you, they doing all this, all that. You gotta just learn to like ignore that, just put them aside, like, okay, not put them aside, but like just pretend they ain't looking, like, you feel me? Just be yourself in public. The main like problems we encountered was like coming up with a story to build with all the film we had, because some people had like just completely different stuff than others, so we were like, how are we gonna combine this, how are we gonna make this?
I think in the beginning we were all very lost on how we wanted to make this film seem, and we didn't really know what to do. We've never really done this before, so we were all just making random videos of like stuff that we did every day and didn't really have like a structure.
I think honestly the whole thing kind of felt like a push outside of the comfort zone, because I don't have any experience with film making or anything like that, so it kind of felt like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and like, oh, I had to make sure like our group like is able to get something together, but like I don't even know like the direction we're headed or how to get there. So that was definitely sort of a push outside of the comfort zone that was, you know, really valuable and you know, a good thing actually, even though it was kind of hard and like uncomfortable in the moment. And yeah, in terms of challenges, like the past week or so when we were like kind of behind, it was like, wow, we gotta work on this. We gotta put some time and effort in, because we're like not where we need to be at this point. Yeah, felt the time pressure sort of.
So the past like few weeks I've just been really stressed, like all the spring stuff is happening all at once, and I think what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, we were getting to our rough cut meeting, and I just had this moment of panic, like everybody's gonna see this. I have no idea what it's gonna look like. I don't think I have enough film, and I just had all these doubts and like, oh my gosh, there's no way this is happening, and just like insecurities about being on film, like, is my film good? Is it gonna look well once it's all together?
We had to ask like so many questions to Tom or Mr. Grace or even like the tech people at the school, because we never really like knew about it. I think this entire thing is so new to us that we're not really sure what to do, and asking those people really helped us and opened our minds to new things that we could do again later on.
In the beginning and the end of our day, we all really do the same things, and we all, put our pants on one leg at a time, but just because we all do different things, like some people do music, some people do sports, that doesn't mean we can't belong with each other. Like, as long as we are kind to each other, we can still create a bond together. And I just want people to know that, like, this school is huge and there's so many people, and it might seem like the end of the world that you don't have certain friends right now, but there are going to be people that you're going to make connections with, and it's going to get better.
You can come from any background, any background, any experience, but still be able to come together as one with other like-minded people, because we all have our own unique stories and our own unique ways of living. And when we're able to come together and kind of share each other's experiences, the beauty of what that creates, which in our case is a film. So I feel like hopefully the film conveys messages of coming together, diversity, and exploring themes like belonging. So yeah, I hope they can really see it in depth from a student's perspective.
My lesson personally is that you really can't judge nobody from what they look like, where they come from, what town they really come from. Mostly, like, you have to be proud of where you come from, where your parents come from, like traits that passed on. Like, you really got to be proud of where you come from. And then, like, if you have a story to tell it.
A lot of people don't really know the real definition to belonging, and we're trying to show that even if you come from somewhere different, like background, a place where you really originate from, that it's not even the school that brings you together, it's the friends you make along the way, or a place that you really feel comfortable with, and growing with that place and growing with that space, and just going from there.
You guys took a group of people who have never taken videos, like who have never edited. So like having like everyone like be new to this and coming together and make movies that like could be like not like amateur but like pretty good. I think that it just shows like how like anyone can pick up a camera, take a free editing software, and just make a movie and do what they're passionate about and convey what they want to convey.
Come in with an open mind. Your plans are going to change over and over and over again, and that's okay. It's great. That's like what the program is for. So just come in with that flexibility, because having that ability to adapt to what's been going on in your life, what's happening around you, is really important, especially when you're in a group with 5 other people for this amount of time. You're really going to have to work with each other and hear different perspectives and be able to incorporate that all into a short 8 minutes that really encompasses everything. So I think come in with flexibility and come in excited, because this has been so fun, and I think just if you come in with that energy, it's really going to carry through the screen, and people are going to see that watching it and be excited with you.
Don't be a follower, be a leader. And definitely, I take that thing very seriously. Since, a little kid, my mom has always told me, like, be yourself. Don't ever do something else because everybody else is doing it. You want to do something because JoJo wants to do it. And I feel like with this message, I hope that people can learn that it's okay that, like, if you're from there, if you're one place, you want to be yourself, It doesn't matter where you're from. If you're different, whatever you are, be yourself. And definitely, like, don't change for nobody.
All right, excellent. Smile, smile, smile. And I want one with me in it, so you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, smiles, everyone. Oh, yeah.